you have to understand that if you seek that office, you have to be prepared to give your life to it. That essentially the bargain that any president, I think, strikes with the American people is you give me this office, and in turn, my fears, doubts, insecurities, foibles, need for sleep, family life, vacations, leisure, is gone.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. That was President Obama before he announced he was running for president. Joining us now, Sean Spicer, and he is Communications Director for the RNC. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Good, good. Always great to talk to you, and I want to talk to you a lot about Hillary in a second, but I want to talk to you about that that soundbite, you know, leisure, vacations, all that. When you become president, all that is gone. You devote 100% to the people. And Dana Milbank, no right-winger, Washington Post, writing yesterday, Obama vacations as the world burns, and he talks about his golf, and I see he was on the golf course again today, I believe. There's been a lot of debate about this. Do you believe that it's appropriate to announce 1 second that we're bombing Iraq and the next second run to the golf course?
Well, optics matter, and this president of all presidents understand that. President Bush 43 gave up golf during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan for exactly that reason. I think that the president of all, this president of all people, understands the power of images and bully pulpits and all that goes to the pomp and circumstance and the pageantry of the presidency in the White House. And for him to now turn around and not listen to his own words and his own advice is kind of ironic. I think what I have a problem with and what a lot of people have a problem with is that, of course, a president deserves to relax. In a lot of ways, I like them getting outside of D.C. I like all politicians getting outside of D.C. I like the president having a chance to relax and be with their families. There's no problem with that. I think what we have a problem with is when you have statements such as the one that you just played, where it's utter hypocrisy. And it's saying that, you know, I'm going to give you 100%, I'm devoting, I'm not going to sleep, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard the different phrases that have been used, and then go do, whether it's the golf or the fundraising. It doesn't look good. And again, it's they're the ones who made the statement. So it's one thing for people to say, well, it's inappropriate for the RNC to criticize President Bush did that. But it was President Obama time and time again who set the standard himself for a lot of these things. We saw it with lobbyists today, that they're saying that they're going to start allowing lobbyists back in. I don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with it. But what I have a problem with is the fact that they were the ones who went out all high and mighty and said, we're going to have this administration that's going to be the most transparent. We're not going to let lobbyists in. And then time and time again are the most untransparent, let lobbyists in. And so they want to have it both ways. They want to make the populist pronouncements and then go out and do exactly the opposite and hope that no one calls them on it.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad. Thanks for weighing in on that. Let me move to Hillary. I understand they're both going to be at a birthday party or some kind of party at the same place at the same time, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. That should be very interesting. You recently said, if I'm not mistaken, that you would, Reince Priebus did, that he would prefer to see Hillary be the Democratic candidate because of the dossier of things, you know, that you have regarding Hillary. But she's now attempting to separate herself. It started in her book, from the foreign policy of Barack Obama, specifically now with regard to ISIS and Syria. If only we were more proactive in Syria. Also criticizing the Obama doctrine, if there is one, which basically she described as "don't do stupid blank." Is this going to work?
I don't even know where to start. First, they're like, you've got these guys, you know, it's so cute that they're going to bump into each other at the Vineyard at a birthday party for the top 1% in the Vineyard with Vernon Jordan and all these. I mean, it's almost comical that these were the guys that made fun of Mitt Romney and all of the trappings that went along with how the fruits of his hard work. And here they are talking about, like, oh, how neat, we're going to see each other at our friend's little get together on the Vineyard, and Hillary was quoted just a few hours saying, her spokesman was saying they're going to hug it out at the party, because apparently she's now backtracking her attempt to distance because of the pushback she's getting from the progressive wing of the party. But earlier today, I made a joke, and it was funny that here's a woman who is distancing herself from the president's foreign policy, and the joke is, I mean, you can't serve as the Secretary of State, which is the position in government that implements the foreign policy, then leave office and criticize the foreign policy that you implemented. It's unbelievable, and yet everyone in the media says she's distancing herself. She implemented it. This is not like she was, Secretary of Housing and now is coming out criticizing the foreign policy. She actually was the one who's criticizing, basically, if you get down to it, she's distancing herself from herself.
Right. Yeah. That is a great way to describe it. She's distancing herself from herself. But is it going to work?
I don't think so. I really don't. And I think what you referenced what Chairman Priebus has said. I think the thing with Hillary Clinton is whether you are, go back to the days of people that were around when Bill was either governor or president, and you dealt with the Rose Law Firm, Whitewater, Vince Foster, all of the deals with her attempt at Hillary Care, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there is just so much at her time as Secretary of State, her dealings or lack of dealings with the situation that occurred in Benghazi, her lack of accomplishments at the Department of State, her lack of accomplishments as a senator. There is just over and over again plenty of material to do. So that's what I think the chairman was kind of referring to, the fact that she is an open book when it comes to what we know. Whereas I think what helped Obama a lot in 2008 was that he was relatively unknown, and he was able to run against a lot of stuff, and there wasn't a lot of things that people knew about him. With Hillary, it's not that case. We have plenty of information on Hillary Clinton on our record, what she did and did not accomplish.
Let's talk a little bit about the IRS. There's a Judicial Watch lawsuit, as you well know, and in addition to a bunch of others. They've been getting a lot of documents, a lot of emails released based on their requests. And the IRS has submitted a sworn statement now to a federal district court, rather, to explain the missing emails of Lois Lerner. And what they have said was that the latest, they tried everything they could to recover the data from the hard drive of Lerner. However, they said their efforts were fruitless, and some of Lerner's emails were lost. Here's another thing. I mean, as you know, Sean, your head spins and you can't keep up, let alone with the news stories of the day when one supersedes the next, but the scandals, and then everything gets knocked off the pages if they were covered at all. But this IRS thing with Lois Lerner, calling conservatives a-holes and everything else she said and did, and the missing hard drives and emails, and her and 5 others or 6 others, are they going to get away with this? Is this going to just disappear?
I hope not. And I think that the House, Chairman Issa and others who have led sort of the investigation of this, if it wasn't for their hard work, we would know a lot less. So I remain hopeful because people like Darrell Issa and others in the House are really committed to getting to the bottom of this. Chairman Camp at the Ways and Means Committee and others who have really done a great service to the American people by making sure that this can't get swept under the rug. That being said, the extent to which this apparatus over at the IRS and others has gone to block and ensure that there hasn't been a dissemination of what really went on and why has been sort of unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this. And so the reason that I hesitate in saying whether or not there's going to be further progress is because I don't think I've ever seen the blatant cover-up type of thing that I'm seeing at the IRS. I mean, I just cannot believe that it's almost Nixonian in the way that it's like, oh, well, we already threw them away. It's too late. I mean, every practice that is all the standards and practices that are supposed to occur when it comes to government equipment and hard drive recovery was completely disregarded. And I think you would never, ever And frankly, I think this is what happens when the media may crow all the time about, the conservatives whine about bias. But I'll tell you, when the Bush administration couldn't find some emails, it led the evening news nights on end. And now it's just like, hey, give them a break. They tried hard. And, so you got the
Hey,
problem.
you know what? No, I was going to say we're running
say-
out of time here, but yeah.
I mean, part of the
No, I was
problem,
going to say
Stephen, I think complicit media, and there's only places like Newsmax and other conservative type media that's actually taking the time to cover this. Otherwise, the media would be just allowing this to go by.
That is sad, and it's true in a lot of stories. Sean, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, Sean Spicer, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back with Gimme 5. Don't miss it.